there's a worldwide pandemic, and no, this is not about COVID, but yet another serious pandemic that has been a major issue across many generations around the world. Nearly 14 out of 100 people in the United States in 2019 smokes tobacco or smoked tobacco. Cigarettes are dangerous since it's an issue that can easily be prevented, since smoking can lead to many forms of illnesses that can be fatal, if not seriously detrimental to the body. If someone does decide to quit smoking, this will not only benefit the host, but the people around them as well. I will speak about the many problems that come with smoking, and I will advise the people who do consume cigarettes to stop. Everyone is different, so everyone has their own way of dealing with the quitting of smoking. I will inform the audience about how smoking is bad for a person economically, socially, physically, and mentally. According to the CDC, cigarettes were first brought into the United States in 1800s. Anti-smoking push activities have been, you know, occurring in U.S. history, but there are also some good uses of smoking cigarettes, such as in World War One to calm soldiers and to calm pain, and there are also some recent actions in modern times to reduce smoking in this country. One of the most obvious reasons of to quit smoking is because money. Money is already difficult to come by, and low-income households have a higher cigarette consumption, sadly. So, the main reason why you should stop smoking is price. The average cost of a cigarette pack is $6.28, which is $180 a month, and $2,292 a year. And this is only average. Some people spend less on it, some people spend more on it, but sometimes it's more on the higher end. And is above average. Some spend more, causing poverty as well. Cheap prices, and since it is a cheap price to some, it might lead to more spending, which is you never want that. Low income family and household leads to stressful times, and cigarettes, and often people in low income families use cigarettes to calm them down, sadly, which leads to a low income population having a higher cigarette consumption. And since the price of cigarettes is cheap, the habit is hard to stop since they buy more and more, which results in less money. So the poor stay poor, sadly. Sorry, sorry. Smoking has dangerous side effects, both economically and physically. Can be life-threatening or seriously harming to the body. So what is another reason why you should stop smoking? It can lead to serious physical illnesses such as coronary heart disease, and smoking only increases two to four times. It only increases the risk 2 to 4 times. It could also lead to lung cancer or COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which makes the person have more breathing difficulties, and it's only worse for people who have asthma, to be honest. Cigarettes can also lead to cardiovascular disease, can cause strokes. And what are strokes, you may ask? Clots, clots that blocks off blood flow to the parts of the brain and or blood blood vessels around the heart, which which burst them, which you don't want that, to be honest. And one of the main reasons, for me too, is it ages a person faster. And for me, being a person who looks older than my real age, I don't want to look older, so I don't want to smoke. Which you don't want to look older either, so don't smoke. Another reason why you should stop smoking in the physical department is birth effects. It can lead to stillbirth, low birth weight, and SIDS. What is SIDS? SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome, which is what it sounds like when an infant suddenly dies for no apparent reason. Sometimes up to the age of 1. You don't want your kid dying, man, just because you smoke. Don't do that. Another great reason to stop smoking, and I'm glad, and I'm one of them, is people view people who smoke in a bad light. If you just smoke for the heck of it, not for medical reasons. And smoking does cause secondhand smoking. What is secondhand smoking? Secondhand smoking, also known as passive smoking, is when a person who is not the original smoker inhales smoke. And what does the secondhand smoking lead to? It leads to the same effects that the original smoker does, which is the development of coronary heart disease, lung cancer, COPD, cardiovascular disease, strokes, and ages a person faster. So, and another reason why you should stop smoking in a socially is social view. It's non-smokers see smokers in a bad light. I see people who smoke in a bad light. If you're smoking for the heck of it, as I said, it also leaves people who smoke with a bad smell. You don't want to smell, man. Don't smoke. And it also leaves a bad impression to the youth, which you know you don't want the youth smoking. Similar to that of what smoking can cause to the body physically, some smoking also affects the mental side as well. And which is why is another reason to stop smoking mentally? It's addiction. When nicotine reaches the brain in 10 seconds, which is crazy fast. What does nicotine do to the body or the brain? It increases the mood, concentration, relaxes muscle, and decreases anger, which with more effects, which is good. This is great. You want all these things to be better, but it also leads to withdrawal. And what is withdrawal? Withdrawal is whenever you don't get it is whenever a person does not smoke, or well, and with any type of drug, to be honest, and which is don't get they don't get their fix. And withdrawal also leads to the increase of the effects a person you affects the person. Uh, it increases the effects that the nicotine sedates. Sorry, lost of thought. So why should you stop smoking? Well, first, economically, they're expensive. Well, price. It burns through your money really quick. It keeps it keeps the poor, which you don't want that. It affects you physically. So with illnesses such as lung cancer, strokes, it ages a person faster. It causes birth effects. It causes secondhand smoking. You don't want people around you developing illnesses for your doing, and people see you in a bad light, me including. And it also leads to addiction, which is hard to get, which is hard to get away from. Sadly, this worldwide pandemic of cigarette smoking has plagued this country for centuries, affecting 1/10 of the population of this country. Since smoking can be easily prevented, it leaves me a sour taste in my mouth that all the unfortunate events that resulted in such bad habits had to occur. I never want to see people dying over silly reasons such as this. On a great note, there are people who are willingly and actively trying to quit smoking, and me including. People should see this as a courageous action. You should always encourage people to stop smoking. My dad stopped smoking for us, which is I'm always proud of him for that. Smoking tobacco or cigarettes can lead to economically, physical, socially, and mentally issues, which is crazy. You don't want to develop these issues just because you want to have a cig. Just don't smoke, please. Smoking products for health purposes can be allowed for consumption, with a authorized prescription of an authorized physician, and a certain variety of smoking products can be consumed. There has been a steady decline of cigarette consumption, but there has been another rise of another form of smoking. Nicotine addiction pertaining to vapor-related smoking is another form of smoking that's taken popularity across the younger population. This is also a growing issue that has been occurring nationwide and worldwide. We must set an example to the younger population by teaching them that smoking is a bad habit to acquire, and to achieve that, we must first end the epidemic of cigarette smoking.